OMG.
And today is episode 85 of the OG podcast. Um, I know I'm a little late. I haven't uploaded 84 to SoundCloud. Just been busy this week, and OMG's got me addicted to a new game. So it's his fault. No, I'm just kidding. But
Nice.
definitely, I will get on it today. Well, hopefully, I got my father-in-law coming at 1 uh, to uh, to build a little ramp inside my apartment so I can get my new scooter out. Because unfortunately, um, my daughter, the person that normally takes my daughter to school, is not able to take her to school this year. So I really had like nobody to take her to school, and nobody on my wife's family side wanted to do it. Um, so I had to invest in a scooter, um, so I can take her to school quickly enough. Cause I could wheel there, but it would take me a long time to get there. So we invested in a scooter. I bought it outright. I didn't do the payments thing. Little
Good.
old
Good.
David Ramsey trip right there.
There
Um,
you go.
it was $1,200, but it's better than paying $1,700 and 30% interest. So yeah,
Hmm.
which making payments I would have had to pay. It would have been $1,700 in the long run and 30% interest when I could just pay $1,200 and don't have to pay nothing else. So
Yep.
that's what I did. My emergency fund is drained, but we could just build it back up again. Also,
There you go.
that's another tip too. Yo, kudos with that raid. But yeah, that's another tip too. Always have an emergency fund for situations like that. That
Yep.
way it doesn't take away from your bills. Uh,
Yeah, that's right.
yo, thank you for that raid. What is up, Crew Dog? I hope you guys had a safe flight. What is up, everybody coming in from the Crew Dog raid? We are just started the show. We're just talking about our week. And so, yeah. And then I got HEB coming at 2 o'clock with my groceries. Because, like I
There you
said,
go.
I love that. I think that's so cool, that you can actually order groceries from HEB and they will actually deliver them to you, which is really cool. And you don't have to pay, there's like no extra like cost. It's just like what groceries you want and they bring them to you. And if you order them early enough, they'll bring them to you that day. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, because I'm always like looking for new opportunities, job ways, in case whatever I have isn't not being for me. And I actually saw months ago where they were actually hiring drivers to deliver groceries and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm sure a lot of people that are in the driving industry would love that because you're just delivering, food, groceries, fast food, whatever it might be. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Do they work for tips? I don't think so. I think HEB pays them. Cause every time I come, every time I get somebody, it's always somebody like in an HEB uniform. So I think they work for HEB itself. And what was really cool is like, say for instance, like they didn't have the certain item that I needed. Well, they let me substitute the item for like something that was like more, like I would get more quantity, but I didn't have to pay a different price. So I still paid like, so basically I got more for the same price. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I mean, it makes things a lot easier. I wish they had that when I was like when I was in bachelor status. It have made things a lot easier when I was like living by myself. But
Hmm.
but it's pretty cool. I recommend anybody, if you have a hard time getting out or have a hard time shopping, or you just have a busy life, look up your local grocery store and see if they deliver. I'm sure Walmart does the same thing too. Actually, I know they deliver. Walmart delivers like supplies, but I don't know if they deliver food or not. But it's pretty
Hmm.
cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then yeah, so that's a little bit part of my week. But how was your week?
Oh, it was all right. For the first time this week, I decided not to do overtime. I
Nice.
actually kind of getting to the point to where I was feeling a little burnt out. When you start to get that way, you need to kind of stop and just chill, do your regular thing because it'll cause you problems in the future if you go overboard. So I actually got to relax the last 3 days. I even made a bunch of YouTube videos. Like I had time to do stuff, and there's still a few other things that I want to do, but I can do it today. And you know what I mean? That's the beauty of having a 3 day being off is that that extra third day is huge. You might think, well, working 10 hours a day is too much, but all of a sudden, an extra 2 hours a day is not that big a deal compared to being off for 3 days. Like it adds up and it works out.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, I've been hard grinding on Shadowverse, just trying to get my rank up. I have a new list that I've pretty much perfected the way that I want now, finally. So
Nice.
my win rate's about 90%, which is good. So
Nice.
I should be able to rank up soon if I once I keep playing more. And
Did you
still on
play?
that
Did you play that deck against me last night?
the very first one that I played against you with was my tournament one.
Okay, okay. I wanna later, like sometime maybe later on today or whatever. I wanna play again because I have a feeling I could have beat you, but I had to take some certain cards out. There were some
Hmm.
cards hindering me, and I made some few changes. But I was actually
Okay.
really surprised I beat you last night with one of your other decks. It was really cool. So just for the record, the reason why I say I'm surprised because I've never been able to beat OMG in Hearthstone ever, 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 ever. So the fact that I could
Hmm.
actually beat him in this game is pretty cool. Sometimes.
Hmm.
Yo, thank y'all for the auto host or the host. I don't know why the alerts are not popping, but thank you guys for the host, auto host, whichever one it is. It's pretty freaking awesome. You guys are cool. Thank you guys so much. But that's cool. And then the rest of my week, I like I said, I did the scooter, and then I was doing a fundraiser for the kids in the youth department at the church for school supplies. We raised a little bit, but then I also doing a lot of my money to make sure that the kids and the every kid in the youth department now has a backpack now. So made sure that they
Cool.
have a backpack full of supplies and everything. I told the stream I was like, regardless of what we raise, regardless what the money gets thrown in the screen, I'm gonna make sure that that all the kids get taken care of regardless. So we got that taken care of last night, and then but it was fun. I actually went around on my scooter at Walmart, was racing the other people in Walmart with the Walmart scooters. it was pretty fun.
Hmm.
It was fun. I had to make it fun. It's actually better than that scooter that I had in high school. I don't remember me having that scooter in high school for a little bit.
Hmm. I do.
Yeah. It's like way better than that one. Thank God.
Good, good.
Yeah. Although I think I could flip this one too. Remember when I flipped it? That's when I got
Yeah.
banned from taking scooters to school when I flipped it down a ramp, trying to do
Yep.
tricks. That was pretty funny. Although it did make me meet this lady, this fine, attractive young lady in high school. I was like, oh dang, she actually helped me pick me up and all this. I was like, dang, I need to flip over more often. Um, but it was pretty interesting. And then I played a little bit of games. As far I watched more any chance I could. I watched COD Champs. COD Champs was probably, in my opinion, one of the best COD Champs I've seen that I can remember. Uh, I would put it up there with Black Ops 2 COD Champs just because of the major upsets and the storylines that were brewing. It was pretty amazing. Yeah, and then what else did I do? I went to go visit my mother-in-law in the hospital. But other than that, I've been playing a lot of Shadowverse thanks to this man OMG. Been very much enjoying the game very much. I actually, just before the podcast started, I just moved up in rank. So
Nice.
yes, I've been on a winning streak. Definitely, it's been pretty awesome. But
Hmm.
other than that, that's been my week. Why don't you go ahead and drop us with some knowledge, sir?
Some knowledge, you say.
Yes, some
Well,
knowledge.
well, well. So, since you were on the topic of Call of Duty, there was something that I actually found last night that I thought was kind of interesting. So I'm gonna
Hmm.
go ahead and bring it up to kind of jump on your Call of Duty thing. I'm
Uh-oh.
gonna look it up real quick because yeah, apparently there is a and I hope I say, oh, here it is. All right, just found it. I had to find it for a second because my bookmarks weren't properly. But all right, here we go. So basically, Activision, working with Tencent, of course, of all companies, on a new Call of Duty mobile game for China. So basically, um, this reveal has nothing to do with the new Call of Duty, but it's the existence of which was made public last April. This is when they started talking about it. So basically, it's not something that's being released in the States quite yet. Right now, it's China only. But the game is a free to play mobile title and will feature a collection of Call of Duty characters, maps, modes, weapons from across all the franchises. So it's kind of like a fan service. You get all types of. It's like a 3-in-1, if you will. You get multiple type COD things in this mobile game.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it's actually pretty cool that Call of Duty is hitting the mobile market. But yeah, basically it says Tencent's leading mobile studio, Timmy, will spearhead development. The game is expected to launch in China within the next few months, so it's coming pretty soon.
Wow.
So I'm actually happy to see Call of Duty jumping on the mobile train because that's a good way to make money. And that'll help kind of support them, with the new Call of Duty launch. Pretty good timing, if you ask me. And with the new COD coming out, tournaments being a thing, and then also dropping it on mobile as well for those who don't want to play on console. Like that's gonna make them a lot of money.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, they've had Call of Duty mobile games before, but they weren't really good. So I'll be interested to see if this one's any good. Of course, I'll
The
try.
only reason,
Go
the
ahead.
only reason I think it might be good is because Tencent is going to be backing them.
Oh,
And Tencent puts up gold, so
yeah.
you know how Tencent is. So if Tencent's behind them, it's probably going to be good. So definitely something to look into in the future, possibly.
Oh man. I'm just making this announcement right now. I just got word from Bezoid. He probably won't be making it today due to some family situations right now. I'm not gonna put it on air. If he wants to let people know what happened, that's up to him. But just keep Bezoid in prayer right now. I actually he just texted me, so it's gonna be me and you again this week.
That's
Um,
fine.
so let's keep Bezoid in prayer for those that pray on SoundCloud, those that pray on YouTube, those that pray on Twitch. Keep Bezoid lifted and his family lifted in prayer. But man, that's crazy though. I'm actually looking for. I've actually been diving into a lot more mobile games lately. Frank, one is just because I'm trying to give my daughter more of the TV lately, so she can like watch TV. And two,
Mm-hmm.
another reason is because I want to be able to communicate with you more on mobile games and more, have a good dialogue conversation about mobile games with you. So
Mm-hmm.
that way it's just not always you bringing some knowledge. I could be like, well, have you tried this game? Have you tried that game? So I've been diving, although Shadowverse has been taking a lot more of my time, but it's all
Yeah.
good. It's all good. Actually, and I know a puzzle game that you will actually like, and it's really really cool. Because you were talking about puzzle games like um, Candy Crush the other day. It's called
Right.
it's called Empires.
Empires
Basically,
Puzzle.
yes.
You
Yeah.
know what? It's funny you bring that up. I actually just demoed that game on my YouTube channel.
Oh, there you go. I actually been playing that before you even brought up the video. I actually enjoy that game a lot.
It's
Well,
actually pretty cool. Yeah,
it's got a lot of meat and potatoes.
it does. There's,
Because
there's a little bit of everything, but it's not overcomplicating either.
right. And if you want, you don't really have to dive into the game, but if you want to dive into the game, it's there. And that's what I like. I thought it was very interesting. It was it just randomly showed up on Facebook, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this game a try. and I gave it a try, and there you go. I enjoy it.
Yeah, shout outs to Facebook for like dropping a lot of mobile gaming like games out there because honestly, that's where I found that game too. I found that on Facebook. And I think there were like two or three other games that I played that I all found on Facebook as well because they were constantly like hitting me up. Hey, check this game out. Hey, check this game out. It's like all right, fine. And half the time, Facebook actually shows us good games. It's weird.
Yeah, it's
It's like the
yeah.
people behind Facebook are actually gamers.
Well, I mean, they're trying to be. I mean, they're really pushing their streaming service. Again, I've been been talking about it. Also, speaking of streaming service, since I guess we could shift gears, there's a new streaming service that's come out for Steam. This may change the game. For those that know, Steam is the PC gaming hub where you can go and you can download PC games. Practically most majority of your PC games you play are gonna be on Steam. In fact, Shadowverse, the game that I play on mobile and PC, is actually on Steam if you want to get it on PC. But they've actually released a new streaming service to compete with Twitch. I don't know how it's crazy because now Steam has also released a new chat thing, kind of like Discord. So basically, like Steam's being smart. Steam's saying, look, you can get your game here, you can stream the game here, and now you can also have voice chat with your game here. You don't need to download three other services. You could just download Steam and get going. I have not tried Steam Broadcaster yet, so I don't know if you need a separate operating system. All I know from what I read from the article, for one, it got released early. It was supposed to be released on a Friday. It got released on a Thursday. Somebody accidentally released it, supposedly.
What?
They accidentally launched it. I find that to be false, in my opinion. I think it was like on purpose, but I know like what I read from the article is they're trying to make everything into one. Now this is where they're gonna win, in my opinion. If they can make something that's better optimized and more reliable than OBS. I'm not saying OBS is junk. OBS is good, but every time the OBS does an update or anything like that, because it's an open broadcast software, that means anybody can mess with the back end and do funky stuff. It's like open code. It tends to be sometimes unreliable, and everybody has their own version of OBS now. Like Stream Elements has their own version of OBS. Streamlabs has their own version of OBS. I think there's another one too, and so if they can come up with a better broadcasting system that not only can broadcast PC games but can broadcast console games, I think they could win. Now, I don't know. Okay, now here's another thing too. When I mean by broadcasting system, I don't mean just like you use this to broadcast to Twitch. You use this to broadcast to their own servers. Steam is having their own what you call it, like streaming service. Like instead of you're not using this to go to Twitch, you're using this to broadcast to Steam. And in fact, certain games are going to be broadcasted there. Dota, and I think Dota 2 and League of Legends. Those tournaments are going to be broadcasted there. And I think if we were talking about in a couple of episodes ago, probably I want to say about 5 episodes, maybe 10 episodes ago, weren't we saying something about when Dota or League of Legends was being broadcasted, like people were getting banned on Twitch or something like that?
Oh yeah, because there was a tournament and they were trying to exclusively have it only streamed on one service. I think it was like they were only trying to have it streamed on Facebook or something. I can't remember what it was.
Well,
but if you were streaming it, you got banned or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so now it's exclusively being streamed on the Steam service. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Now I could be wrong. They may not be doing their own stream service as far as like OBS or something, but I do know that they're having their own stream service, like to rival against Twitch. But it's something to look into. I'm not switching over because for one, I'm not in PC. You know, the only PC games I really play is Brawlhalla and Shadowverse. I do have a major announcement for Brawlhalla. Like, it's probably like my biggest announcement today. It actually beats all my Call of Duty news because I actually found this out last night and it blew my mind. I'm not gonna release it yet, but if you are a Brawlhalla fan and you like Brawlhalla and you enjoy Brawlhalla, this is some major news. I was actually really blown away by this news. But yeah, so I mean, if it's just crazy, like all the different streaming services out there that you can stream on Facebook, you can like everywhere you can stream now pretty much. So I mean, it's really where you feel the most comfortable. I know there's Caffeine. Yes, there's a stream service called Caffeine. I have a friend of mine that's actually wanting to venture out in Caffeine because he feels like Twitch is too saturated to start. And I told him this. I said, if that's the way you feel, out of all of them, except for Steam, because I haven't stepped on Steam, if you want to try something different, I would try Mixer. But he's like, no, I want to try Caffeine. And I was like, okay. And the only reason why I would say don't try Caffeine yet, because not every game is supported. Like, the only games that are going to be supported are the games that are most saturated right now, like your Fortnites, your PUBGs, your all those games. But if like Shadowverse won't be supported. You know what I'm saying? Certain games like that probably won't be supported. So if you're looking to like play a game that you're like that's not very popular yet, I would stay away from Caffeine and go to something like Mixer. But again, that's just my opinion. And again, I'm using Shadowverse as an example. I actually haven't been on Caffeine to see if Shadowverse is on there, but it's just somewhat of an example because that game has not really like been popular yet, although that game is getting popular. Like I said, I was talking to OG it was a couple nights ago now. And I was saying how a lot of the Hearthstone players are playing Shadowverse, but a lot of them have admitted to me that the reason why they play is because they've been paid to play it. But some of them do enjoy it, but a lot of them are diehard Hearthstone fans. But it's still an interesting game.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I
think that having all of these different streaming services promotes competition, which means that makes each company have to work harder to get convince us to use their platform, which means they're going to be getting better.
Right.
So I'm happy to see there's a lot of competition out there.
Right, and you never know. I mean, you might get hit up one day if you're like like me, and like I got hit up one time. I forget what the stream service was, but it was like a mobile streaming service that was turning into PC. They were actually going to pay me to stream over there, and I said nope. It wasn't a big streaming service. It wasn't like Mixer or anything like that. It was like a beginning streaming service, but you never know. Personally, I wouldn't advise if you are well established somewhere and you have a community somewhere and you are comfortable and you actually have a growth, I wouldn't recommend it. Doesn't matter if they're paying you $10,000, $20,000. I'm just throwing numbers out there. Nobody was ever gonna pay me $10,000 to stream somewhere. But I'm just saying, no money is worth it because, like, when you think about it like this, right? Yeah, you get the money. Yeah, you're over there. You're streaming good enough and whatever, but your audience is not there. So once that revenue is gone. That money you got paid for, is gone, and then you have nothing. You have nothing else. You're sitting there with like 0 viewers, but yeah, you got paid $10,000, but you're not growing because they're basically paying you to start all over again. In reality, that's, in my opinion, not the best thing to do. I mean, and the only way I would do it is if they if you were automatically able to bring your community over and your community was wanting you to switch. But again, that's still a hard thing to do. And again, thank you, Servo, for that host. Thank you, Abel, Accessible Gamer, for that host. Thank you guys, everybody that's hosted. I don't know why the alerts are not popping at this moment, but yeah. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that? OMG.
Trying to really put it together. I mean,
I'm saying like
the
this.
way that I see it, it's kind of like what you're saying. The problem with moving from one service to another is that I feel like you're going to completely lose your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people that watch you, they're diehard on that platform.
Right.
A lot of people don't like jumping from YouTube to Twitch or Twitch to Mixer or whatever the case may be. So understand that if you're going to make that decision to make that jump to another platform, know that your numbers are going to probably drop a little bit, and then you have to accept the fact that that's going to be a thing possibly.
Yep. And
so,
not
disappointed.
Yep, and not that I count on revenue, but if you're somebody that does count on revenue and you're like, oh, I like this money that comes in, well, know that money is not going to just switch over. That money is not going to switch over. You're gonna that's something that's not going to happen, because for one, a lot of them are different payment plans. Two, a lot of them don't have the certain things that not established as much as Twitch is established. A lot of people hate on Twitch a lot, for certain things, because it's so hard to do this, it's so hard to do that. But the reason why it's so hard is because Twitch is well established as a company.
Yeah.
So.
And it's safe to be said about YouTube, because it's really difficult to make it in YouTube, especially with all these new rules and regulations due to a lot of things that's happened recently.
Right.
It's become difficult to make it on YouTube because they're already well established as well. You can't just jump in there and expect to make numbers. Like, you got to do things, or you got to take the time and just continue to do your brand and eventually get there. Like, you don't expect a whole lot overnight. Now, one thing that I will say that's somewhat on a similar subject is a long time ago we had touched a little bit about Patreon, and I kind of want to bring up that from what I can tell, at least from the YouTube standpoint, they probably don't need it so much for Twitch. Apparently Patreon has been the only way that some YouTubers have been able to make money, and these are people who have thousands of subscribers. And I've seen there are certain people that I watch, for one reason, or my girlfriend watches for one reason or another. And some of them have openly said, if it weren't for you guys donating to my Patreon page, I wouldn't get nothing from YouTube. Just because not only do you have to have so much to even start making money, but depending on the kind of content you have, there's a chance they could demonetize you, which means that you won't make money off the video you make.
Right.
So if for those of you that are kind of wondering, is Patreon worth doing? From what a lot of YouTubers are saying, it's definitely worth it. It's the only reason they're even making money at this point. So
yeah,
so it's actually pretty legit. Because I remember at first you were kind of iffy about Patreon, but yeah, a lot of YouTubers highly recommend it.
It's okay. So and I'll retouch this subject. It's because a lot of people that have Patreon use Patreon in the wrong way, and I'm not gonna say who's or what's name, but I used to have a friend of mine that they used to stream, or they still stream, but they used to use Patreon, and they would say, okay, you pay me such and such money on Patreon and I'll send you nudes. And I was like, because I legitimately went over to the Patreon and I was like, okay, I'm going to go support them this way. And then once I saw that, I was like, oh no, I can't. Nope, I don't support that. And then when I would go to other people's Patreons on Twitch, that's all I would see. And I was like, oh no, I don't like this. So it's not that Patreon is bad. It's just, in my opinion, it's all how people use it. But that's what any service is. You could even use Twitch for bad reasons. You could use Twitter for bad reasons. You could use Facebook for bad reasons. You can do all that. So, and then, but as far as, the services go, I've never seen, anything, bad. In fact, I mean, I think you get more money from Patreon than you do from like any other like like sub like any kind of subcontract. What I mean is like okay, so like when you're affiliated with Twitch, you get like 50-50, and then when you're partnered you get 60-40. I think with Patreon, I think you get about 80%. I could be wrong though. They could have changed because I know Patreon has been like doing a lot of changes and doing a lot of stuff. But it's the same thing with GameWisp though. GameWisp, who I used to roll with before I got affiliated, they used to do a lot. Used to get more percentage. But again, I mean, it's all what you're comfortable with. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's all what you're comfortable with. For YouTube, like YouTube, it makes sense because like the way YouTubers use it is like, okay, if I get this many Patreons, I'll make this video, or this Patreon actually goes to funding to making this video. So it makes more sense. It's, in my opinion, it's harder to do with streams, because how a lot of people format how they present Patreon, because how the Patreon presents Patreon is like, okay, well, I get this many Patreons and I will fund this and I will start this project. So, but with streaming, you kind of already starting the project, so it's kind of I don't know, it's just weird. But yeah, totally. Have you thought about using a Patreon on your YouTube? Speaking of which,
the thought has crossed my mind, but I think it's something I'm gonna do once I get more people that are active, because for me to just set up a Patreon to have not many people really on it wouldn't make any sense. I think that Patreon is more for people that are a little more established, that have a wider audience, that is very active on their channel, and those people that are active are going to be the ones that are going to be spending money to do this and this and that. And from what I've seen a lot of other people say on their videos is some people use Patreon to fund their next projects.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because for example, one of my favorite YouTubers is the Video Game Historian, who he basically posts videos once every few months. He doesn't make a lot of videos, like a lot of people do. But the reason he doesn't make a lot of videos because he has to do a lot of research. Sometimes he does interviews. Sometimes he has to buy the product. So there's a lot that gets invested into making the videos that he rarely makes. And sometimes with the people on Patreon will actually fund him to make those videos. They'll give him money so that he can do the research and do what he needs to do to put those videos out there, because it helps to make quality content. People are willing to pay for quality content.
Right.
So I 100% support Patreon, but I think that I need to have a little more of an audience before I start one. But I'm getting there. So
yeah, I mean,
that might be a thing.
You're more established on YouTube than I am. Just saying. Even though you have lesser subs than I do, you're more structured on YouTube. But that's because that's your main platform. Like Twitch is my main platform, so that's why I'm gonna be more structured. But yeah, I mean, I think you have an audience. I mean, somebody that gets 5,000 views on a video. I mean, come on. But I mean, I feel you. I feel you, bro. I feel you. We got to get you to that sub mark for sure, so you can get that Twitch revenue back. I mean, YouTube revenue back. I'm about to get banned on YouTube. Here we go.
No, they know what's YouTube does weird things, but you'll be fine. Don't worry.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean, that's crazy. That is nuts. That is really, really nuts. But yeah, I mean, I actually had before I started anything like a donation goal or donation thing, before I even knew how to do donations or whatever, I actually had a Patreon, but I set like my Patreon for like $1. $1. Okay. I was like just $1, and I was like for PC maintenance and for stuff. I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
I still have it, but it just doesn't. I don't use it because I don't know how to. For one, I don't know how to like deactivate it. So, what I do is I just don't broadcast it nowhere because I don't want to get nobody to to subscribe to it, because it's not gonna go nowhere because it's not connected to nothing. So if you sub to my Patreon, you better not do it because it's not connected nowhere. Yo, guys, thank you guys so much for all the subs, man. I mean, subs. Host. We're talking about Patreon and all that stuff. So, my bad. Thank you guys. Martin Bros with that host. I really don't know why the things are not popping unless they're auto hosts. Because they're popping up on the screen as far as, like, the emotes. But as far as the noises, we're not getting no noises. My allergies are messing with me thanks to my wonderful cat. But my cat is awesome. Chillest cat in the world. He actually will sit there and try to play the game. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'll be playing on the TV and he'll actually like try to attack the TV. Pretty funny.
Nice.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Next thing I want to bring up. I guess I can bring up a little bit of Call of Duty. Since Mr. Bezoid will not be joining us today, Cat online it's Cat Odis. Odis is named my cat Odis, which is funny. Odis is named my cat Odis. But if you guys have not watched Call of Duty Champs this last weekend, man, oh man, let me tell you what, Call of Duty Champs was like probably one of the best Call of Duty Champs I've ever seen. Call of Duty Champs was like, it started Thursday. So how it goes is it goes from like pools, like, you know, you have like, I think it's like 9 pools. I want to say 9 or 6 pools. I think it's 9. And then once you get like the top people in the pools, then it goes into a bracket. Well, I'm here to tell you. Well, if you don't know, well, I mean, if you don't know, then you've been under a rock. But Optic did not make brackets during the tournament this year. And here's a little known fact: it's been the first time Scump has not won a tournament all year for 11 years. So for 11 years, Scump has won a tournament. At least one tournament each year for 11 years. And this is the 1 year in 11 years that he has not won a tournament.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of people will say Scump is done. A lot of people say Scump's going to retire. I don't know. I can give you the real reason. What do I mean? Like, real reason is, I mean, there's documented proof of what he said. He wants to play Fortnite. He wants to do Fortnite footage, and he specifically said, Hex was like, well, why can't I do? Hex was like, go do Fortnite. He's like, I can't. I gotta practice for the tournament. This is before the tournament, guys. And so, like, that's where I'm thinking. I'm thinking he doesn't want to retire. I'm thinking he's not. You know, what's up, Martin? I'm thinking he doesn't, like, he's not done. He's just burnt out on World War II and wants to play Fortnite. And it's because exactly what it was exactly what people were talking about in the video. And I know I'm kind of venturing off, but this ties into what I want to talk about. People with Crimsex and a lot of them were talking about, you know, I don't have to play top players in Fortnite to win money. He's like, I could be in like, I could be in a country, like, you know, like a different country or like a different part of like the United States, play kids in my region, because you guys know you can set your routers. If you got a gaming router, you could set it to where you play certain, you know, people only in your region. And he's like, I could play, you know, trash kids, you know, that are in that region, you know, that normally don't play games, and like win 40,000. He's like, why wouldn't I want to do that? And so, you know, so this is what I'm saying, this to say this. I don't think Optic's head was in the game of Call of Duty. They're all in the head of like, dude, why are we not making this much money playing Call of Duty? Why is Fortnite making so much money? And, you know, I feel like that's why they lost the tournament. I feel like their head wasn't just in it. And I feel bad for Octane and I feel bad for Octane and Methods, because they had something to prove, because you all know that Methods was not the first choice for Optic. Methods was the third choice for Optic. And I feel like they had something to prove, that Optic didn't make a mistake, letting go of Karma and Formal. But because a lot of people don't like look into stuff, a lot of people are bashing Optic for letting go of Formal and Karma. And personally, I don't think they made a mistake. I don't know. I think they should have kept Karma. I mean not Karma, Formal, because Formal still wanted to play. But if the team chemistry is not there, then the team chemistry, if there's arguing and whatever, you can go back 20 episodes and listen to my thoughts on that. But I don't think they lost because of the they made the trade. I think they lost just because they weren't thinking about Call of Duty. They were thinking about Fortnite. Again, this is my personal opinion. Again, you can go back and watch Hex's videos and see what I'm talking about. I'm not just picking this out of thin air, because they were talking about the new Call of Duty. They were saying Hex was bringing up which esports would you do if the new Blackout mode becomes an esports, and the new and then Black Ops 4 esports, regular esports, which would you do? Would you be able to do both? And a lot of people were saying they're gonna go where the money's at. And right now they feel like some of them said they would do both. Some of them said they go where the money's at. Some of them said they don't think that Blackout is gonna be an esport. Again, you never know. If Fortnite could be an esport, and they don't, and this is my biggest problem with Fortnite esports, is that you don't have to play against other esports players to win a lot of money in Fortnite. But anyway, that's another discussion. So to go back to Call of Duty, so Optic gets kicked out. Okay, everybody's sad, everybody's upset, but the team that actually beat Optic was on the bridge of elimination themselves, but came back and won the whole tournament. They won the whole tournament.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of people will say, well, Patrick, a lot of people hate on Patrick. This guy Patrick, he's a bag, they consider him a villain or whatever. I don't remember the whole storyline with him. Apparently, they've taken out Optic a lot of times, in tournaments and stuff like that. I don't remember exactly, so I don't want to misquote anything. But all I can say is, regardless of it, Evil Geniuses fought their butts off. And it was really crazy because basically all the teams that people thought were going to do well, didn't do so great. And then all the teams that people thought were going to do horrible, like LG, not horrible, but not as great. The LG wasn't clicking all season once they got Formal. But then Formal said, once I realized, and this is an interview from Formal, I'm quoting this from Formal. He said, once I realized that I could do what I want to do, he said, because he was like, I was bringing my old Optic tactics to LG. He said, once I realized that I can just do what I want to do and do what I feel comfortable, then that's when they started clicking. They almost won the tournament too. I think they got taken out by TK, but actually LG took out Red Reserve, and Red Reserve was everybody thought Red Reserve was gonna take it. My underdog pick was gonna be Unilad. I thought Unilad was gonna take it, or I thought LG was gonna take it. Never did I think that Evil Geniuses was gonna take it, because Evil Geniuses' roster was like a roster that was it's just been all out of sorts. It was a bunch of people that people didn't want at some point or wanted, and it was just all out of mess. Even Enable, because Enable was bouncing around for like the longest time, and from Evil Geniuses to FaZe to all this, and now Enable is on TK, which blew my mind. I never thought I would see Enable on TK, but I mean, what can you do when you lose one of your players to Optic? So I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was probably one of the best, like I said, COD champs that I've seen. Shout outs to Optic. Shout outs to Evil Geniuses to winning the championship. One thing I've learned is watching COD champs and watching any Call of Duty tournament is it's endurance. It's not really about how good you can play, because you can play good in the beginning, but can you play that consistently good for like 12 to 15 hours? Because that's legitimately how long they play. The tournament at least lasts 10 hours. I'm not even joking. Because and I'm talking like 10 hours a day. You gotta stay warm. Now I don't know necessarily if I agree with that. How much endurance and how long they gotta last. But I think that adds a lot of the skill to Call of Duty. It's not how you start with Call of Duty; it's how you finish. How you finish, because you could do well your game and win, but then when you go down further in the bracket, once you get out of the pool, you got to go, and now you got to win in the bracket. In the bracket, you got the bracket's double elimination. So I mean, even if you lose, you still got to fight in the losers bracket. It's a lot of battling. So I don't know.
It is. I have a little bit of experience with that, because the only endurance tournament I went to was back when Shirts had the LAN store called what was it called? I can't even think of the name. It was just in my head, but I forgot. But basically, there used to be a LAN center where people played a lot of competitive shooter games at the time.
You talking about Game Over?
Not Game Over. That's a good one too, but that wasn't Game Over.
Oh.
There was one that was like way before Game Over that actually opened up in Shirts like many years ago, before Game Over was here. But Trader's Planet, that's what it was called, Trader's Planet.
Oh, okay.
And they used to host a lot of Halo tournaments, and they had big Halo tournaments, and they also used to host Gears of War tournament, and I used to play some of the Gears of War tournaments, and those tournaments lasted forever, because like you said, you show up, you got like a room full of tons of people, because you got like 4-man squads showing up, and then once they're there, you match up against these people, you're playing against them, and sometimes matches take a while, especially if it's like sniper versus sniper, or people are just kind of like trying to shoot each other through wall, or like behind the wall or whatever. So sometimes matches can take a while. So you finish that match, and then of course at the same time other matches are going on too, because they're trying to wrap it up as fast as they can, but there's so many teams. So then you once you're done with your match, you're probably waiting about maybe 15-20 minutes, and all of a sudden you're jumping into the next match. Probably less than 15 minutes, but I'm just kind of giving you an average.
Right.
You go to the next match, and then you're going hard, you're doing that, and then of course you get like a little small break, and you're going back into it again. And you have to be consistent. You have to constantly be like, all right, guys, let's do this. We're sticking to this plan. This is what's going on. Where are you at? There's a lot of communication. There's a lot of just looking at the screen. And after a while, like for me personally, like I used to start tearing up near towards the end of the tournament, because I'm staring at the screen for so long that like it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts, and then another thing too, the tournaments can't end in a tie. So I don't know how your tournaments did, but like if they tied it up, they had to like redo the series all over again. So it was like another 5 games. It was crazy.
Well, see, I've never experienced a tie in Gears of War. As far as tournament play is concerned, so it was always a clear winner every tournament that I went to.
Well, that's good.
So we never had that problem. I'm sure it's happened before, because I mean there have been double KOs in general, but that's really, really rare that I've ever seen in a Gears game. This is for Gears 1, by the way. I don't know about
Old Faithful Gears.
Old Faithful, yeah. That's to me that's the best as far as like tournament play. It was just more simple back then. But but yeah, I mean, I definitely understand what they're going through. Like it is a lot. And for those of you who wear glasses, something that I would highly recommend if you want to be competitive, for especially like shooter games and stuff, or even fighting games, because some of that could be a little bit flashy too, and they last forever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would consider getting with your prescription, get the pay a little extra money to get the UV protectant thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Basically, what it does is that certain lights won't be as bright, or the shade will be a little bit different to where it protects your eyes better.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you're in an area where there's lots of crazy lights going on, it's not nearly as bad as it would be if you hadn't had it. And I don't have it now, but when I get my next prescription, I'm going to get it again because, especially if I plan on getting competitive again, although with Shadowverse it's not going to be that bad, but just in general, just protect your eyes. You're always better off having the protection if you can. It makes a big difference.
Yeah. In fact, it's funny you brought that up because I was just I was watching the news and they were saying that now that they've done a discovery that the blue light that's on your phones, which is also in monitors, but the blue light that's on your phones and your monitors actually it's the same kind of like UV as it's in the sun. So if you stare at it too long, it can cause the regeneration like cells in your eyes to not regenerate. So it
Yeah.
can actually make your eyes deteriorate and cause blindness.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that you just don't stare at the screen so long or get that protection. But note this. When you get this protection on your eyes, because the eye doctor told me this, because I actually have this on my glasses. Somehow they got my insurance to pay for it. Don't know how, but thank you,
And
Jesus.
congrats on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thank you, Jesus. He said it's not gonna fully protect it. So you just, I mean, it's not like 100%. Like you could just stare at the screen all day long and just be good. He's like, it helps. He said it helps. Um,
Right. That's absolutely right. I was told the same thing. And yeah, you do need to take breaks. Regardless of what kind of protection you have, you definitely need to take breaks because, one, it's just better for you mentally,
right,
just to kind of refresh.
right.
But two, yeah, because I reported this a while back on an older episode where in China, it was such a big deal where they had a report where a woman was playing Honor of Kings, which is basically like Arena of Valor,
Uh huh.
or League of Legends, and this woman was playing for like 2 or 3 days straight, with almost no sleep, and yeah, she ended up going blind in one of her eyes because of that stuff. So, that's why they have to have strict laws as far as how long people can game or how long you can be at a LAN center. Because yeah, I mean, if you're doing that for way way too long, it is going to hurt you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You got
yeah.
to be careful.
Yep, and for esports gamers, there's no like insurance plan or
No.
retirement plan or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
That's I mean I'm not trying to. I mean it's funny when you think about it, but at the same time, like that's something to seriously think about. Like esports makes a lot of money. There's a lot of money in esports, but when you think about it, like it's still not on the same level as NFL. Like if you put a lot of time in your NFL career or basketball career, whatever sport, you're gonna get a retirement, and there's also the insurance and all that stuff, that helps from when you get beat up and battered, playing football. They don't have that in esports. When you retire, your retirement is on to you, like what you want to do next. How you spend your money, like when you're in esports, like that's on you. You know, I know if I had that kind of money, even if I had like made that kind of money in Twitch, like I would invest it. You know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
when Twitch is over, when esports is over, I still have I still have, and I could use that later on in life. So, I mean, but yeah, I mean, that's something to think about though. Like, I never really thought about that till now. Like, esports has no retirement plan. There's,
No, they don't.
and like, we really don't know the long effects. Like, we really don't know the long effects of, like as far as like physical health, what video games does to your body. I know this. Like, after a while, my neck starts to hurt. You know what I mean? And I have to take
Hmm.
breaks. So I mean, I know that's doing some kind of damage, but I mean, that's just something to think about. In your hands,
Yeah.
carpal tunnel, all that good stuff. That's not really good, but yeah, I mean, it's just crazy when you think about it. Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy when you think about it, though. So I mean, if you in the esports or you in the gaming, you need to take the proper precautions for your eyes and all that stuff because there's no like, oh, thank you for your service kind of deal. You know what I mean? There's none of that. There's none of that
Yeah.
right
Once you're
now.
done, you're done.
You're
Simple as
done.
that.
And then you're left to, okay, what to do now. That's why a lot of them go to content creating once they're not in esports no more.
Yeah. So you have something to hold them over. Although that kind of brings up an idea, something that if I had the money, I'd love to fund it. I'd actually like to fund some kind of a sort of like an insurance plan or like a plan for professional gamers, so that at least if nothing else, we can provide them at least proper eye care.
Right.
Some kind of thing to help them out. When something does happen, because I mean, yeah, there are other problems
Yes.
that can come from playing games for too long.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would be nice to be able to be like, okay, you know what? I have this foundation. We help, gamers who are competitive in getting proper eye care, proper physical therapy for like their wrist or whatever issues they may have because of their long term play. I think that there should be some sort of plan, and like I said, if I had the money, I'd actually love to
Right.
invest in that sort of
Right.
thing.
I
See where
mean,
we can help those that do
I
that.
mean, it's like a no-brainer, especially when it's like an $80 billion industry. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it like I don't know. It's like building a company with no It's like building a company with like no labor like work. Oh, what is it for like workers comp for people that like need insurance if something happens? Like it's like building a company and having a multi-million-dollar company but not having no kind of insurance if an accident happens. And it's
Yeah.
like that's what it kind of feels like. Like you're
Yeah. There's no workman's comp, like you said. You're
yeah,
right.
there's no, and so you would think that would be covered. Again, it might be covered in esports, and I just don't know about it. So again, if I'm wrong or if we're wrong, and somebody knows and somebody has some information, let me know because as of right now, I don't know anything. It's funny how
Yeah. I
we
don't
brought
know if
that
that
up.
exists.
It's funny how we brought that
Yeah.
up. I mean, that wasn't really gonna be part of the show, but that's the beauty of the
It's
show.
definitely something good to talk about, though,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely, definitely. Cause I mean, especially and hearing too, like wearing the headsets, wearing the earbuds for long periods of time. Because a lot of the competitive gamers they don't wear, like it's funny, right? Because a lot of times it'd be like the way they sell you getting these headsets. Oh, hear like a pro, hear like the pros do. Um,
Right.
well, if you watch Pro Call of Duty, they don't use these headsets to hear the game. They use these headsets to talk. They use little small earbuds to hear the game. They it's not mixed in the one headset. That's why they wear two headsets. That's why if you've ever watched COD, if you ever watch Call of Duty tournaments, it's always two sets. It's a headset, which is 9 times out of 10 is the headset that sponsors the guys, or it's MLG, and then it's earbuds. But not the big headphones are for to communicate, and the small earbuds are to hear game noise. And it makes me wonder, like I'm like, dang. So, but think about it though. Like you're wearing the small earbuds. You're wearing basically two sets of headphones or ear whatever you want to call it, headphones at the same time. At some point in time, that's gonna do some damage to your ears too. Even streamers, even this right now. I mean, I'm wearing headsets, longer than normally what I would do, uh, you know, every day. So all that stuff wears and tears. So it's kind of interesting. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's your new passion there, OMG. That's your new company. There you go, man.
Yeah. On top of my, hobby store, because I do actually plan on, for those who don't remember, my actual dream in life is to own my own land center where I actually have people come in and they just play games on like a, for example, we'll just say the PS5 has come out, so my store would have like
What?
PS5,
No, I'm just kidding.
and I'm just predicting the future. That's all,
Right.
but PS5 is dropping. I got about 10 PS5s. People just pay me so much money to play all day, and I could just kind of be a place for someone to hang out, kind of a thing. And on top of that, I can host tournaments. So if I ever have that business, I could also set up something for my own team group. If I actually sponsor people to go to tournaments, I can have my own insurance plan for them. To where like, hey, if you really want to be good at this, let me get you these glasses. Let me get you,
Mm-hmm.
some therapy, whatever the case may be, and I might just hit that up myself within the company that I'm planning on
Yo,
making.
you could
And
you
see
could
what
you could
happens.
you could have the offices in the building that you're already using the building for the land.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
hey, hey,
ideas.
hey. Handy Kill Cam will be sponsoring this this land building at some point when it comes about. It will be a Handy Kill Cam, whatever I am by then. It will be sponsored. And shoot, if I get a lot of money, I'll help him. I've always said that I was gonna help him throw that together because I can't own a business. So if I can help somebody else own a business, especially my best friend for many years, why not?
Oh yeah,
Why not?
why not?
Why not? Yeah. So, man, oh man, while we're
Well,
on,
yeah, even if you don't wear glasses, it might not be a bad idea to have glasses if you're the type of person that does play for long periods of time for the sake of protection with those specific type of glasses, the UV protective ones. They could be considered reading glasses if nothing else. So just
right,
something to think about, guys. Something to
definitely,
think about.
definitely.
I'm looking out for y'all's health and
Yep.
my own.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now you got me start thinking about all that stuff. Like, dang.
Oh yeah, brainstorming, bro. We brainstorming.
I know. Live on the podcast.
Hmm.
While you're brainstorming, why don't you drop some knowledge?
All right, I can do. We're gonna kind of go a little off track because I like to change the pace a little bit here and there, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about some YouTube slash gaming type kind of weirdness. Where is it? Oh, I actually went to the wrong article. That's not what I want to talk about right now. But I'll just kind of while I'm looking for it, I'll just kind of talk about it. Apparently, there was a YouTuber that was getting paid to here we go. So the title of it says Player Fury as YouTuber goes top of Marvel's Strike Force leaderboards as part of marketing campaign. Okay, so that was a lot to swallow. So let me just break it down for you. There's a YouTuber out there who basically was advertising this game by just showing off cool things that you can do. Um, and just kind of being, kind of generous to others as far as like show them how to play the game and why is this game good. And of course, he was ended up being one of the top players. Well, it turns out that unfortunately, this person
Hold on.
wasn't a top player because of his own merits.
Mm.
The apparently, I guess I'm not sure if it was the actual gaming company itself, but let me just kind of confirm it before I say it says Nightly Gaming, a YouTube content creator, was hired by Fox Next to produce video guides for Marvel's Strike Force, which was released in March of 2018. So this is actually relatively recent. In a move to assist this person in producing content, the game developer gave them specific assets to help them progress in the game faster than the average person could. So, in other words, he was getting an unfair advantage. And it became obvious when they had moved the level cap from 55 to 65, and apparently several of his characters were already max level within a very, very short period of time, which
Wow.
was really unfair. Um, it basically promotes cheating. You know what I
Right.
mean? This
Yeah.
guy, he seems like he's, legit. He's one of the best and he's grinding hard. And turns out that, nah, he wasn't really grinding that hard. He had help from the developers themselves. So my understanding is that they've now, I believe, according to what it says here, um, his account was wiped and his activities within the game were moved to a test server.
Wait. But didn't you say the developers helped him cheat?
Yeah.
So
So
so wait a minute. And I'm about to cuss real quick. So if you have children by you, go plug their ears. So you mean to tell me because the developer wants to cover their ass, they gonna be
hmm
like, "Yo, we gotta wipe his account and do the right thing."
yep.
I don't. Why? Why would you even do that to begin with?
Yep, and I'm rereading it just to be sure because yeah, it was
Um,
he was hired by a different company to promote the channel, but it was the developers who actually gave him the extra. So yeah, it was the developers of the game itself who gave them the unfair advantage. Now, as far as who pushed for it to get wiped, it doesn't specifically say who really pushed for it, but
doesn't
yeah, I think
matter.
it was one of those things that they were like, "Yep, we got to cover our butts," and
It doesn't
wipe out.
matter. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter who told him or who said for it to be wiped. The whole point is it's like it came from the developer to begin with. It shouldn't have came from the developer at all. If that was a big deal. Now, what game was this again?
it's called Marvel, and it's called Strike Force. So it's from
Oh
Marvel,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
company,
I've seen
and
that
it's a
game.
game called Strike Force. Yeah,
It's a
he
mobile
was one of
game.
the top
Is
players.
it?
So yeah, it's a mobile game. And yeah, he was basically one of the top players, but because of an unfair advantage that most people didn't know about. But it became super obvious because he didn't get caught for the longest time because it was one of those things where he didn't really rise to the top until like other people had already been up there, so you really couldn't tell. But it made it obvious when they moved that level cap where all of a sudden he was much faster in leveling than everybody else. So it
Well,
was kind of a whoops.
so like my question is like what was the developer thinking? Okay, we want him to showcase the game, but we don't really want him to participate in the leaderboard so he don't get caught. Like I can kind of see it like that. Maybe that he was just supposed to demo the game on stream or whatever. Maybe he wasn't supposed to compete. Like it's like hypothetically, let's say I do well in Shadowverse and the company's
hmm
like, "Hey, we want you to play Shadowverse for us." And but we'll give you these cards and stuff to showcase these cards, showcase the game more to be a little bit more flashy, so forth and so forth. But there's a stipulation. You can't be in tournaments. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
that makes more sense.
right. That would make more sense.
But
No,
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like you know, that's dumb.
yeah, it's cheating. Yeah, it's basically hey, look at me and my greatness, and it wasn't by my efforts at all. But again, the company wanted a YouTuber to kind of spread their game, advertise really well. And what better way to help advertise by giving one of the YouTubers a bunch of content to give him the ability to really show some stuff off.
Right.
Whereas if he going on his own, he wouldn't be nowhere near there. So yeah, it's kind of one of those really iffy strategies for marketing.
Not only that, but it makes the company look bad either way.
Oh
No.
yeah, it does. Yeah,
Good way to go. Way to go, Disney. Way to go. Cause
Disney.
Disney Marvel. Disney owns Marvel.
They own Marvel, but Disney has nothing to do with the actual game itself.
So we
Uh,
think. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
so we think, yeah, but I'm not gonna really go there. But I'm not gonna throw them under the bus. But yeah, basically, it's Fox Next. They're the ones that are behind the game,
Leave it to
so
Fox.
they're
No,
the
I'm just kidding.
ones. Yeah, so they're the ones that honestly are to blame for this situation, and yeah, it sucks that it happened that way. You know,
That really does suck. Like, wow.
shady stuff in the gaming industry.
Why am I not surprised?
Hmm
Why am I not surprised?
Oh yeah.
So I might as well drop my big announcement for Brawlhalla.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I just found this out. So November 7th, Brawlhalla will be released on Xbox One and Nintendo Switch.
Oh wow, that is pretty big.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how I feel about that. Mm,
Hmm.
I enjoyed Brawlhalla being exclusive on one console.
Mm.
Just because like that was like to me, that was like a game pulling over to like one console, or a PC. Now I do have speculation on as of why, because I remember for the longest time they weren't going to go to any other console but PlayStation. Now, if
Okay.
y'all know that what I've been talking about, like they've been dealing with a lot of contract issues with getting it crossplay to PC. So, um, what it was PlayStation didn't want crossplay with PC. So Brawlhalla said, you know what? Okay, cool. We'll just go over to Xbox and Switch. They already do crossplay with PC with Fortnite. Um, and they don't mind cross playing with each other. They don't mind cross play, period. So in hindsight, in layman's terms, I feel like they did this so they can cross play with PC. I feel like
Mm.
the Xbox is gonna be the cross play with PC on Brawlhalla. That's what I feel like. Um,
Okay.
if Xbox pulls this off, it might be a good thing for Xbox, because right now a lot of people are wanting crossplay with PC with Brawlhalla. So
Mm.
a lot of people want to participate in the tournaments with Brawlhalla on PC with console. Already, the controller support is already on Xbox. You know, and it's also on PlayStation, but by default it's Xbox. So it's pretty interesting. I don't know. I'm still skeptic because I don't know if it's gonna play well. I don't know if Xbox is gonna be cross playing with Switch. That'll be something interesting. If there's gonna be a cross play between PC, Switch, and Xbox all together as one, or is it just gonna be Xbox crossplay with PC, or so forth and so forth. Now, I think it being a mobile game, that's gonna be interesting too. I'm actually excited. It's a very simple
Mm.
game. To be mobile. I think it will bring a lot more people to Brawlhalla. Again, if you don't know, if you haven't been following a lot of Brawlhalla news, Brawlhalla got picked up by Ubisoft. So there will be a lot of Ubisoft tournaments with Brawlhalla. So Brawlhalla might be the platform, man. It's really crazy because now Smash has got competition now. Now
Mm.
Smash has got competition. Do I think Brawlhalla will beat Smash? Nah. Because Smash has got one thing that Brawlhalla doesn't, and that's iconic characters. You can't
Yeah.
you can't you can't beat that. It doesn't matter what Brawlhalla comes out with now because it has no iconic characters. I can't be Mario in Brawlhalla. I can't be Pac-Man in Brawlhalla. I can't be Link in Brawlhalla. I can't be characters that people know in Brawlhalla.
Yeah.
You have to learn these characters. When I can pick up Smash Bros and be something that everybody knows and everybody can relate to. That's where Smash wins. Um, and
Yeah.
if we're talking graphics, graphically it looks better. Smash looks better. But it's crazy to know that actually Smash is gonna have some competition. I thought this was pretty interesting. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually think it's cool that there is going to be some competition, because again, competition creates creativity. It
Mm-hmm.
it forces companies to actually try to make their game better. Now, as far as the crossplay is concerned, I've always been an advocate of crossplaying with other players so that everybody can game with each other, for the sake of not having to buy a system just to play with somebody. Especially if I'm more of a Sony guy and you're more of a Microsoft guy, just hypothetically, it
Yeah,
just kind of
cause
makes it more fair.
right, right.
The issue potentially is when it comes to competitive. And the reason I said, I think we've touched on this before with other games, is unfortunately, if one system plays better than the other, then that system's going to have an unfair advantage. So if they're going to be, like I said, esports worthy, they're going to have to pick a console
Yeah.
as opposed to allowing crossplay for tournaments because that will be unfair.
And
And that's
honestly,
the only way that I think that it's a problem is when it comes to tournaments.
that's what's hurting Fortnite right now, in my opinion, too. Is that
Hmm.
you're having PC players and PS4 players participate in the same tournament. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But again, the way they're like, well, they're not facing each other, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, PC should have their own tournament. PlayStation 4 should have their own tournament, so forth and so forth. And I feel that way with Brawlhalla because Brawlhalla, if you're playing against a PC player, they're gonna kick your butt because they're getting more frames than you are. They're seeing things quicker than you are, and
Hmm.
in a fighting game, that's gonna be more noticeable, in my opinion,
Hmm.
because frames are everything. You know, it's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty interesting to see. It's gonna be fun for me because I get to play more Brawlhalla, but you know, I just I just don't know. I mean, it's just something that I'm gonna have to like really look into. But November 7th will be the big day that it drops, and it's gonna be free everywhere. Of course, you already
That's
know
cool.
it's already free on PlayStation, so it's gonna be free. It's already free on PC. It's gonna be free on Xbox. It's gonna be free on Nintendo Switch. Uh, so
Hmm.
I thought the big update or the big release was gonna be, crossplay. But like I said, I feel like the reason why they're moving towards Xbox is because Xbox is more crossplay friendly right now because they're losing. You know, um, as far as the console war, as far as financially. I'm not saying that opinion wise. I'm saying that in fact wise. Y'all know they're losing financially right now, unfortunately. So, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. You're gonna see a lot more Fortnite. You're gonna see a lot more Brawlhalla on the channel. That's for sure. That's definitely for
There you
sure.
go.
And as I go take a back room break real quick, I'm gonna let OMG hit us with some more knowledge real quick.
Yeah, definitely. So, got a little bit of news about a mobile game called Fate Grand Order. Now, the only reason I'm even bringing this up is because I actually have a friend who I talked to about a month ago who actually told me that he was actually into this game. He really, really liked it. And basically, I haven't really gotten into it myself, so I don't know much about the game in general. But my understanding is basically like a mobile RPG. But the reason that it's in news is basically Sony's multi-billion-dollar mobile hit Fate Grand Order now snags two films and a spin-off anime series. Basically, what they're saying is that for those of you who ever watched the anime Fate Stay Night, are kind of familiar with the whole Holy Grail War and stuff like that. Well, Fate Grand Order, this is basically a following similar to those lines, similar to that story arc. But what's happening is because this game is so popular and the original animes are so popular, is that they're talking about making movies, not necessarily box office movies, but probably like movies slash anime spin-offs based off of the actual game itself. So for those of you who actually play Fate Grand Order and always wanted to see those characters, come to life within the game's own story, you get to actually see that. Now, as far as when it's coming soon, I don't believe they plan on launching it until 2019. It says that it was confirmed by the director of Cloverworks anime series, which is due to air in 2019. There it is. Okay. So, yes, it is going to be coming out in 2019, the actual anime series based off of the game. That's a good shout out to those who play that game. You're gonna be able to watch the anime based off of it. Shout outs to you guys, and I'm happy to see you guys. Your money getting spent well, because it's always nice when you have a game that has support anime, movie wise, all that kind of stuff. It just means that it's a big deal, and they've been making a lot of money. Apparently, people like the game so much that they're throwing their money at the screen at it. I've always seen it advertised like on Facebook and other platforms, but the only reason I don't play it myself is because I'm already invested in other RPGs, and like I don't have time to play multiple RPGs at once. Like Until I can actually stop having to work, I won't have time to play too many games at once. So, unfortunately, as awesome as I'm sure this game is, I won't be really investing much time in it myself. But this is still, I don't mind shouting out a game that other people I know that are into. So, for those of you who know about Fate Grand Order, the mobile RPG based off of things like Fate Stay Night and stuff like that, you're going to be getting an anime series and some movies as of sometime in 2019. So, you got good things to come. So, congrats to y'all. Another thing I'm also going to bring up while your homie is doing his little break here is some news about Fire Emblem. So, obviously, I've been bragging forever how great this game is, how much money they make, and there's just more news about how successful they are. Basically, there's an article that states that Fire Emblem Heroes now fires up $400 million in worldwide revenue. They're basically talking about how their developer DNA, which is kind of ironic, and I'll explain why in a minute. Um, was the RPG initially hit app stores back in looks like 18 months ago, basically last year. But they're talking about how basically 52% of the money that's being spent is by people who are using Google Play, and then the other percent is from people on the Apple App Store, the Apple App Store, if I can actually say it right. Um, they're basically, still making money. That's Nintendo's like number one selling mobile game as far as like, content. And the thing about that I find the fact that it's DNA backing them up is because DNA, spelled DENA, is a company that at first I wasn't really a big fan of because they were behind the game Blood Brothers, which was a game that had really, really questionable monetization practices where basically you spent hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars a month just to
My
participate in
G's.
certain events. So now to see them partnering up with Nintendo to make a game with good, money practices is always good to see. I'm happy to see that the company sort of changed their ways a little bit and is actually, helping make a game with legitimate money practices and
Get the
making tons of
basket,
money
Andy.
with it. Yeah, don't forget to hit the basket. That's right.
Yes.
Parenting skills at its finest.
Yes, yes, yes. Ah, being a parent. It's challenging sometimes, but I love it.
Oh, I believe it. But basically, I was just telling the audience. I brought up an older mobile game that a friend of mine likes, and I talked about how it's having an anime series coming next year. And I also switched gears over to Fire Emblem because I was talking about how funny that the company that was behind Blood Brothers partnered with Nintendo to make Fire Emblem Heroes, and their money
Hmm.
practices are no longer as questionable as they used to be. It's like they changed their ways.
Well,
They
yeah,
were,
cause Nintendo wants that money.
oh yeah.
Nintendo don't want to lose money; they want to make it.
hmm And they were doing a comparison. I haven't brought this part up yet. They did a comparison of how much money in the same time period that Fire Emblem was made compared to their other Nintendo mobiles, being Super Mario Run and Animal Crossing.
Uh huh.
When Fire Emblem hit 400 million, Super Mario Run was only at 64 million, and Crossing was only at 42 million. So there's a huge gap as far as like how much money Fire Emblem was made compared to Nintendo's other two biggest Nintendo mobile titles. That just kind of shows you how good a game can be, and you know what I mean. And that's just awesome. I'm happy to see Fire Emblem still making them numbers. You know what I mean? It's a really good game, and
Mhm.
I'm happy to see a good game making good money.
Well, because of Shadowverse, I haven't even touched Fire Emblem yet. I haven't even dove into it, just because like I've been enjoying Shadowverse a lot more than Hearthstone, and I'll explain why from my perspective since I'm not normally the card. Well, I do like card games. I've been playing card games, since Yu-Gi-Oh. Actually,
Mm,
winning tournaments and stuff. But I I like Shadowverse better than Hearthstone because of it's more strategic than Hearthstone. I do enjoy it more because of the fact that I don't have to throw money at the screen to get good at the game. It
yeah.
rewards you for grinding the game. It rewards you for playing rank. It pretty much rewards you for anything. Um, all you got to do to be good at the game, and this is how any game should be. To be good at the game, all you got to do is put time into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're bad at this game, then that means you haven't put a lot of time into it. And I like that it's not every character has their own identity, but it's not based on their like superhero power or whatever. Like it's more based on the deck. And I think you were talking about that last night or the night before. And
Mm-hmm.
the one thing I wanted to bring up to you though, I have a legendary fighter, the card legendary fighter. I found out it's not about how long he stays in the field, like as far as turns. It's about what you play behind him on that turn or
Right.
certain
Yeah.
turns. Okay. See, I thought it was like how long he stays on the field. I didn't know it was if you play certain cards, which I mean, it still works out works out for
He's still
me.
pretty good.
He's
Yeah.
still pretty
Mm-hmm.
good, but he's not as good as I thought he was. I mean, he's still
Mm.
good, but he's not as good as I thought he was. Because you have for him to be good, you have to play either an enchantment or a spell card on that turn, or something else to make him go plus 8, 8 8. But I the main thing I use him for is for Bane. Bane is very powerful and very underrated. I've noticed a lot of people that I've been playing against don't use Bane. Bane is strong. Um, um, if
Well,
you go ahead.
it really depends on the list that you're playing because there are certain cards that have Bane that are just not worth playing.
Uh huh.
There are just better cards. But in the current format, there are only certain classes that use cards that are to have Bane because they're just better cards in general. So you'll see them once you hit like the higher ranks. Right now, you're probably not. You're probably what in C rank right now or
I just got out of beginner rank, so I'm in.
D rank
Oh,
maybe.
I'm. What is it called? No, I'm completely out of beginner. So let me see. I'll
Okay.
bring it up for you real quick. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Um.
Because when you're playing people at the lower ranks, you're not really going to see the high competitive play. You're probably not going to see the high competitive play until you reach probably A rank, maybe B rank. Right now, I'm currently in A rank, which means if I rank up one more time, I'll be what's considered Grandmaster, basically the highest tier. Um,
Ooh. Well, go on
so
with your
I'm pushing
bad
towards that.
self.
Trying. Well, the only reason I'm really pushing hard is because if I am good enough to do that, that'll basically push me to want to play in tournaments. So I gotta put the time and the effort in. Plus, I'm trying to get my collection up because when you want to play in competitive tournaments and card games like Hearthstone and Shadowverse, when it comes to competitive esports play, you have to have three different lists to bring. You
Mm-hmm.
can't just bring like your one favorite list of cards and say, okay, I'm going to win the tournament with it. You have to be able to play against other people, and you have to win 2 out of 3 with different sets. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't use like Dragoncraft over and over. You have to use one dragon, one sword, or and one haven, or whatever three that are your favorite. Now, if you're first just starting off, I would recommend just picking one class that's your favorite
Mm-hmm.
and then really pushing to make that one good. And then once that's perfected, to move on to the next one.
And that's what
But
I did.
that's what I'm trying to do.
And
I'm
that's
just
what I
trying to up my collection right now.
Right, and that's what I did. I'm a Dragon whatever Dragon Quest or whatever his name.
Dragoncraft.
Dragon
Yeah.
Craft. I'm in D rank. I'm in DO or D0, whatever that means.
Okay, so you're in D rank, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I
You're
just
not gonna see a lot of the big stuff yet, but you'll get there though for sure.
yeah, yeah.
I think you have potential to do some things. So just if you want to keep grinding, keep doing it, and like I said, you'll get rewarded for it. And again, I highly recommend doing the story mode stuff because you get stuff for doing story mode as well. And they have a lot of content for story, especially now that they just released. For those who don't know, they have there's a new branch of the series called the Guild Wars,
Mm.
and basically it sets up the story after the main quest where the whole team gets teleported to a different world for reasons I'm not going to spoil. Play the game to find out why. But
Coming soon.
as far as what they're doing, which I think is really smart, is that when they first opened up the Guild War, you could only play with certain characters. You would see their story play out. Well, they just released the Dragoncraft story,
Oh
which is their
wow.
fifth one I think they've released. So now I actually did a YouTube video recently with me actually playing the Dragoncraft story. The YouTube video is titled "Rowan, You're Not Alone," and the reason that I did it that way is because if you understand his story and where he's come from and where he's at now, it was kind of one of those like iconic feelings where you had to struggle with something inside, but you're overcoming it. And then
Mm-hmm.
once I got to the point where I was actually playing the actual like verses against the person I was against, I actually put the "You're Not Alone" song from Final Fantasy IX in the background, so it kind of
Nice.
just fit perfectly. And when it comes to me, music and gaming go hand in hand, and it really adds to the emotion. So I
Right.
thought that was perfect for it. But yeah, I mean, so they're always adding good content and really good stories, and it's just fun. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, and please, and for those in the chat, I'm sorry I keep going to Shadowverse, but it's just something that I'm hype about right now until probably Black Ops 4 comes out. Um, yeah, and to switch gears, I didn't want to talk about it, but they dropped something that like blew my mind. So it's probably out today. I haven't checked the update, but Fortnite has dropped this update that is pretty freaking crazy. For those that know, there are rips right now in the sky that you can jump and you can teleport. Well, now they have decided to put in the game where they are now going to be an item you can use at any time. They're called pocket rips. So basically, what it is, if you want to like take off somewhere, you just deploy this rip out of your pocket and you just teleport and fly away. Um, I can't say from opinion as far as like playing with it, but from just hearing it, it sounds ridiculous. Now, I didn't mind the rips being in the game, like being randomly spawned in the game or in the game where you can go to a certain spot to take off. But to for it to be like where you can deploy it when you want and wherever you want, to me it might seem a little broken because instead of building a wall now, you can just like throw a teleport and like just take off. And I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know. And I've said this and I'll say this again. I feel like if anything, Fortnite's gonna break their game just because they're just trying to come up with too many inventive ways. Like I'm not saying that there shouldn't be new stuff in Fortnite. I do understand why they do. They're trying to keep it fresh, but it's like it's too much. It's too much, and it's like now do I not only have to worry about people building a wall in front of me, now I have to worry about if they got a freaking pocket teleport and can just teleport away. And now mind you, they'll be flying in the sky, but again, it can get quite annoying. Now I haven't seen, like I said, I haven't jumped on Fortnite today. I haven't played it. I don't know what to expect, but I'm pretty sure the update's out, and I'm pretty sure you guys have played it. So if you guys are in chat and you're listening, feel free to drop some input. But as far as I know, like it has not made me excited to play Fortnite. It's actually kind of a little bit frustrating in my opinion that they would even do something like that. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I don't know. Well,
Well,
go ahead.
this is how I feel about it, and I don't think this is necessarily a Fortnite problem. I think it's more of a multiplayer game problem, and I'll kind of
Oh,
explain why.
interesting.
So, this is something that you're seeing a lot in RPGs as well,
Mhm.
as far as like mobile RPGs, as far as MMOs. What happens is a lot of games have to have updates so they can kind of keep up with what's going on, no matter whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
And depending on the type of game that it is, depends if it's necessary or not. But the problem with RPGs specifically, and I think this is bleeding over to shooter games now that have updates, is that after a while, it becomes too much. It becomes a situation where you have, in RPG terms, you have way too many heroes to choose from. It's hard to kind of keep up with what's going on. And with shooter games, it's similar. You have way too many either guns or gadgets or whatever, so it becomes kind of difficult to keep up. A lot of games. in my opinion, are better in its infancy because it's simple. You don't have
What?
all these complications possibly making the game worse.
All
Not to say
everything
that
that's
the
on the
game is
floor, I
bad,
want you to pick up.
because again, I don't really play Fortnite, but this is more just about games in general. Is situations like that where you're constantly having updates can eventually ruin the game,
Yeah,
and that's kind of a problem.
yeah. I don't, and I just right now, like with what they added, I didn't see a need for it. I mean,
Yeah.
last week they just put in the sniper rifle that shoots through walls.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now this week, you already had the rips already in the game, like I said, but now you want to make it to where like now we can deploy them wherever we want. Like
Hmm.
I just don't understand the logic of like it's too much stuff for me to think about. Okay, well, do I carry the teleport? Do I do this? Do I build a wall? Do I teleport? Like it's just too much. It's just too much. And again, I feel like if Call of Duty plays this right and they do well on their blackout mode, I think they're gonna might win because it's just gonna be simple.
At least at first.
Right,
Yeah.
at first.
Simply just because it'll be new and there won't be too much going on.
Right,
You know.
right.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the updates are bad because,
No.
as a matter of fact, on a similar side quest, for those who play World of Warcraft, they actually just got a major update.
Right.
And from according to Game Informer, it's a pretty legit update.
Right.
They're really, really digging it. So, I mean, there are some games with updates that are done properly, but you have to do them properly, and you don't want to necessarily overcomplicate things. Now, World of Warcraft could probably get away with it because it's probably one of the biggest MMOs out there at this point. I don't know if they have really too much competition these days. I'm sure there's other games that are still popular like Diablo and whatnot, but World of Warcraft has been a big deal for a long time, and of course they have to have updates just because RPGs do get stale for a while.
Right.
But they're smart about their updates and they don't overcomplicate things too much. At least not all the time. They have made mistakes. They're not perfect, but you just got to be careful with how often you do the updates and what you're doing with said update.
Yeah, and like I'm not saying like Epic hasn't been smart because obviously Epic's making more money than me. They're doing things that I'm not doing, but I'm just saying this, and I'm coming with an air of caution. Epic, if you want to stay on top, you want to remain on top. Be careful. Be careful, because now you're not just adding more weapons. You're adding like stuff to like evade the battle. You know, the wall was one thing, and like I said, having designated rifts was another thing. But now you're in potential to break the game because now I could put that rift wherever I want, and I guarantee you, people are gonna use that elevate to of height, of height. I can't even say it right. Of being high to where like they're probably gonna find some breaking parts in the map or breaking parts in the structure of the game because I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking like crazy stuff. I could put a rift in a house now. I could put a rift. You know, I could do all kinds of crazy things. Yes, it'll be fun and entertaining, but what will it do for the structure of the game as far as competing? Now, again, I don't compete, but I'm thinking of the people that compete for like $60,000, $120,000, $40,000. These are the kind of money. This is the kind of money that you be getting in Fortnite, and you know, again, the thing that I think that's the draw, but I think is the drawback to Fortnite, is you don't have to play against competitive players to win in esports in Fortnite. But again, that's what draws more people to the esports in Fortnite is pretty much anybody can practically compete, pretty much. Anybody can be that person because they're not going against a scum. They're not going against a Nate Shot. They're not going against a big timer. They're going against, like I was saying earlier, they're going against people that, that just play the game casually, and all they got to do is drop enough bodies and they win, or win the game and they win. So I see that as a double-edged sword, on that thing. But when you add stuff like this, it's going to be crazy, because the people that are not competitive and do just play the game casually, and you're going against people that do play the game competitive, people are going to use those rifts that don't play competitively in a more crazy way, and it's going to be in a more exploit way, and it could damagingly hurt the tournament scene of Fortnite. And right now, there's no way to ban certain things in Fortnite. You can't ban a certain gun in Fortnite. You can't ban a certain item in Fortnite. You can't ban certain guns. You can't ban anything, because you were playing the game in regular lobbies. So you possibly could be, and this is what I was talking about last week, you're damaging the tree, you're damaging the source that's making you grow. Because right now, a lot of people that don't play competitive Fortnite are getting burnt. The people that do play competitive Fortnite are loving Fortnite because it's a lot of money. Like, you have people becoming, like, getting $250,000, $200,000, $300,000, $20,000, $40,000 playing Fortnite, just playing regular people. Of course they're gonna love the game. Of course. I mean, OMG, if you could play Shadowverse and have a chance to win $40,000, and you're playing a non-competitive person, you're playing somebody basically in a regular lobby, would you not take up that opportunity?
Oh yeah, I mean, easy money is easy money.
Right.
No, I don't know as far as if they can make adjustments in tournament play as far as for Fortnite. Like, I don't know if they can just turn certain things off for the sake of competitive.
No,
but
at this point, go ahead. Sorry.
I think that just to try to kind of give them their side of the story. Maybe they're doing it not really for the intended competitive. Maybe this is just for the casual player. They're not really too worried about the competitive too much, even though that it exists. Their main motives may just be, we just want to add a bunch of fun things for the fun players.
But
I think that's probably where they're coming
from. I would love to agree with you on that. But here's the problem, though: the tournaments that Epic is hosting are they're inviting. They're like invitational only, so they're inviting these pro players to play. But they are playing in regular lobbies. There's no private lobby. Like, you see, they can't turn things off. They have their own rules, like as far as like how to get certain points. But as far as like, like when you're playing a card game or you're playing certain shooter games, in regular mode certain guns are not banned, but in tournament mode certain things are banned. So there's a ban list. Well, right now, because it's in regular lobbies, there's no ban list, and I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there needs to be a ban list of some sort. But they need to have private lobbies. Odie says this: imagine them adding a sword in that can deflect bullets. You're killing people with 2-3 hits, but the sword has durability. I actually thought about that. I actually thought they were gonna add that in the game. Because they were adding all the little swords and the little ninjas. That right now, the way Fortnite's thinking, like, that doesn't it's not far fetched, Odis. Now that you think of that, but again,
No, it is. You're thinking Star Wars now. They're gonna make like lightsabers. You're gonna be able to play as like Darth Maul. I
well,
mean,
I
it
mean,
wouldn't surprise me if they went that route.
I
I
mean,
mean, that's a possibility.
they're already putting ninjas in there. There's already a guy that looks like a ninja. They released a skin like 2 days ago. He's the white ninja. To me, he looks like the modern version of the white Power Ranger, just without the gold in
Mm,
it. So it's very
okay.
possible. Season 6 is about to drop soon, and if you're wondering why I'm not talking about season 6, is because really, honestly, in my opinion, there's no leaks that really excite me. Again, I don't talk about what's going on in the news per se because it's going on in the news. I talk about what's like exciting to me, and OMG does the same thing. So if it's not exciting to me or OMG or interesting to me or OMG, we probably not gonna report it. As of right now, season 6 does not look exciting to me. Uh, I don't see something to be like, oh my Jesus, 3 weeks and season 6, right? Yeah, I think it's 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. Right now, I mean, they're talking about a deformed tomato man, but I'm like, okay, that's cool, but I'm not excited for it. You know, I don't know. I think Fortnite is starting to lose its edge for people that are like like true gamers. Like I won't say true gamers. Let me refract that statement. People that like grind games, that like to play games for a long time. I know a lot of people are getting burnt. I know you know, Odis is getting burnt. Certain people are just getting burnt because I mean, it's just it's just a lot.
Just too much.
It's
Yeah.
just too much. I know. I only like I say I play it because I like playing with my friends. I mean, right now I could play Shadowverse all day long. I'll be happy.
Hmm.
That why? Because I'm actually using my brain. Like I'm using my brain to get better. I'm not using my brain to feel like, okay, what do I need to hurry up to lose? Because even if I get all this stuff, I'm still gonna lose. Or I need to hurry up and get this stuff. I don't have time to think because I'm gonna get shot. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it all depends. Season 5 and season 6 uh, isn't hype uh, as season 3 and 4. I agree. I agree.
And
Dangerous.
I kind of just talks about how what I was just saying earlier, that games are usually better in its infancy stage because one, it's new, and two, there's not so much going on that it's overcomplicating. So
Right.
yeah, I could agree with earlier seasons probably being better than the newer stuff.
Yeah. Well, and then I totally agree. I enjoyed season 3 and season 4 better, only because to me the game was played and this is gonna sound weird. The game was played in more the balanced state. You know what I mean? It wasn't build first then shoot. It was shoot, and then if you were about to die, then you build to protect yourself. Like it was to me in my sense, the it was I and don't worry, Ghost. I know it's a joke. I know me thinking is a dangerous thing. Um, um, to me, like that's what building was for, is to protect you and to help you get advantage while you're in the battle. But now people just use it to build off, and it's like I don't want to play Legos. I don't want to play Minecraft. I want to shoot and kill. And I only play Fortnite with Crew Dog and DB, Gramps, Wheels, basically all my friends. Yeah, I like how you didn't include me in there, Odie. No, I'm just kidding. I know you play with me too. Just include everybody but me. But yeah, that's the only time I play Fortnite. I'm not playing Fortnite off stream. Not anymore. I'm not playing. I'm actually, and this is gonna be another thing I'm gonna talk about. I'm actually wanting to play PUBG. Um, yo, Jim King, thank you for that host, man. Okay, so my alerts are working. So those were just auto host earlier. Thank you, Jim King, for coming in and testing that for me. You didn't even know it. But Yeah, so like it's weird because why? Why do I want to play PUBG? Because I just want to go back to simpler things. I enjoy battle royale games, but I enjoy it just you know, play a game that it's just simple, like something that I can easily
Just pick
grab.
up and play, have fun, and then be done.
Right, exactly. And then like in that turn, learn, learn to get better.
Mm.
But it's so hard to learn to get better when they keep adding stuff. The next thing I wanted to talk about was and then we can slowly gradual to wherever you want to. Only reason why I want to talk about this is because it goes hand in hand. PUBG is now starting a campaign, or people around that play PUBG a lot are saying it's a fix PUBG campaign. People are like telling, the developers like y'all need to like start working on fixing PUBG. So the developers are supposedly working on fixing PUBG for the console because people are saying with all this money that was in PUBG and the fact that you have to pay to play PUBG, there's no reason why PUBG should not be working properly on consoles and working properly in general. So, yeah, I support fix PUBG. I might even get the little graphic and put it on the side of my stream because they need to fix PUBG. I've been a PUBG fan for the longest time, but the only reason why I haven't been playing PUBG is because it's not been able to work. Yeah, that's right. I found a way to bring a PUBG into the stream. You want to play PUBG? PUBG again? Yes, I do. I do. I want to play PUBG again. I want to play PUBG. I definitely do. I do like H1, but H1 just seems a little unrealistic to me. And this is weird because Fortnite is unrealistic, but it doesn't look realistic. PUBG looks real. H1 looks realistic, but it doesn't play realistic, so it messes with my head. PUBG plays realistic and looks realistic. It just doesn't work. So I need PUBG to work. Unfortunately though, my Xbox is disconnected at the moment because of my cat. Dad, I'm done in the bathroom. You picked up everything? You sweeped? You need to pick up all the shoes, like I told you, because Grandpa's gonna come in and build a ramp right there for my scooter. So you need to go and pick up all the shoes and move all the shoes. What do you want me to? Go put them all over. All the clothes. Put all the clothes in the basket and just put.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's parenting at its finest.
Yes, you're gonna hear it on the podcast. Put all the clothes in the bathroom. Just keep them in the bathroom in the basket. And then, but anyway, sorry about that, guys, for the interruption. You can skip like 20 seconds or so. But yeah, like I don't know, like it's like I'm just so like I said, and a lot of my PS4 people are gonna say your cat was smart, but my cat literally disconnected my Xbox. So, and unfortunately, I haven't had time to get behind there. And I don't want to get my daughter behind there because I don't want everything else to disconnect. So I'm kind of waiting for my wife to help me, and we've just been so busy because next week school starts, so we're trying to get all that in order. So, yeah. Hopefully, maybe by today I'll have my Xbox hooked up and be able to play Xbox on Friday because I'm playing a special game on Thursday for Able Gamers. I've already got it approved and everything like that. I'm not gonna say. Pick up all the shoes and put them in the dining room over here. Pick them all up. Okay, OMG, go ahead and drop some knowledge because apparently
I keep it. And drop some knowledge. There we go.
There we go.
All right, so Square Enix, they're not too happy with their numbers lately.
Really?
And yeah, well, so here's what's going on, and I kind of know who to blame, but you'll probably be able to put two and two together once I go over the article. So Square Enix basically has had a barely less than a 30% drop in profits, going down to 53 million. Now, granted, yes, it's still a lot of money, so it's not like they're struggling, but their comparative numbers are getting bad. They're getting less money. So basically,
Could it be because they haven't come out with Final Fantasy VII Remake? Just saying. We lost faith in Square Enix.
No, actually, apparently they're still working on it. Oh, surprise, surprise.
They're lying.
So we'll see. But this is more in the mobile that they're talking about that they're losing money from, not so much in the console.
Oh, gee. Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, revenue has dropped about 26% down to 292 as of its entire. I'm sorry, maybe as of this year. This went down by 53 million, I guess, by like a certain time period. But here's what's going on to kind of give you more of an idea of what the problem is. A slowdown was expected due to the lack of releases. So Square Enix has not been releasing a lot of mobile titles lately, which is a little bit surprising because they talked about months back that maybe even last year they were talking about doing a lot for mobile this year, and apparently they slowed down. They didn't really say specifically why. But Square Enix did note that the performance mobile and browser game launches in prior fiscal year had fallen below expectations and failed to basically generate more money. They were basically banking on Final Fantasy Brave Exvius to kind of carry them, which, in other words, they were kind of putting all their eggs in one basket. Now, I will agree that the game is good. That's why I put it, in my top 5.
What game is this? What game is this? Sorry.
Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. It's the game where, basically you can be, pretty much anybody you want if you launch the character. Right. So you can have like different Final Fantasy from different Final Fantasy games.
Right.
And when Screen Plus has its own story, you can actually walk around and talk to people, stuff like that. Like I said, really, really good game. But they were basically hoping that they could ride that game alone to give them profits. Which is why they haven't been making any new mobile games. The purchaser also made reference to the lack of lump sum payments of license fees that we received in the same period the previous fiscal year. Now, this article is making an assumption, and I'm going to go ahead and support that because I think this is also a good assumption. The people in this article state that it's possible that they could be referring to the deal with MZ to release Final Fantasy 15 A New Empire. Even though Square Enix has nothing to do with the game, they still have to pay them to use their characters and all that.
Yep, I was thinking.
Apparently, they haven't made their lump sum payment like they're supposed to.
Gee!
Despite all the money that they've been making lately, forcing people to pay thousands of dollars, which is why they've been making so much money, which I reported on multiple times. For some reason, they can't pay Square Enix. That's sad.
Well, it's not that they can't; they just don't want to.
They can. They're just being
don't want
lazy
to.
About it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're paying them, which is why Square Enix hasn't completely thrown down the hammer at them. And again, this is only an opinion based on the people who made the article. This didn't come directly from Square Enix. However, I do agree with the article. They are saying that the reason they're not making as much money as they're supposed to make is because they didn't get the lump sum payment they were supposed to get from the company behind A New Empire, who has questionable money practices already.
Well,
so don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Well, here's two things. Okay. It's the thing that I always say. You got to be careful what you put your brand on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you put your brand on something, not only does that help the company that you put your brand on, but it also represents you, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, say for instance, I put Handy Kill Cam on. I partner up with some company. You know what I'm saying, or some sponsor or something, or something, and they do something horrendous, and they I don't know, do something very negative, and Handy Kill Cam is not about negativity. Handy Kill Cam is about positivity. Well, and then I just don't do nothing about it, and you know what I'm saying, and I just let it ride. Well.
Yep.
Then people are like, you know what? That Handy Kill Cam guy, he's not all about positivity, so forth and so forth. I'm not gonna support that no more. You know what I mean? Because look who he has behind him. Look what he's endorsing. He's endorsing these bad practices, these bad
Mm-hmm.
things, and I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
With Square Enix, because they're not doing nothing about this. This is clearly, even if they were paying them, clearly
Mm.
this is bad practice on
Yep.
this third party company. Third and foremost, you don't do business with a third party company like that. I don't know what Square Enix was thinking. I don't know what made them think that this was okay. Um, you do research in the company that you do partnership with. Um, you know, like
Mm.
why do that? Like, you know, like for instance, the esports organization that I was with before I'm not gonna say their name. I mean, they're practically out of business now anyway. They're not an esports organization anymore. But once I found out that they did a contract dirty, it didn't affect me personally, but I was representing that brand. I was representing that org. So, morally speaking, finding out that that was like that, just saying, you know what, I endorse that. I think that's cool. And yeah, like if it was done in private, it would have been okay. But the fact that it was brought publicly, like I had to do what I had to do because I don't endorse those good practices or bad
Mm.
practices. It's the same thing with Square Enix. Like, why haven't they done anything? So I mean, it's only and I mean, did they really think that those people were gonna pay them? I mean, just by them pay practices alone, you knew that was like straight scumbag move. Like they were just trying to make money. They weren't trying to grow as a company. I wouldn't be surprised if a year from now, if the game just doesn't just shut down and they just take off with the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's really shady because I've been reporting on the company MZ who's behind New Empire, and there's been some weird shakeups. Like I said, I think it was the CEO or something left recently, and they're starting to get questioned about their monetizations. I mean, there's just a lot of weird stuff going on with the company, and then now finding out that they haven't given Square Enix a lump sum, which I'm sure they're giving them some money, but they're probably not giving them the amount that Square Enix wants to give them, and maybe they might not be contractually obligated to give them so much as long as they do it over a period of time. But that's still pretty shady because I know because we've reported on how much money that one game makes, and they're making a lot more money than Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which is the game that Square Enix is doing, which is Brave Exvius. But a New Empire, which Square Enix is not currently putting any effort into, where because they have contracted out to someone else, they're the ones making all the money, and Square Enix isn't seeing much of that at all. You know.
And a lot of people, like, say for instance, like, people that don't do their research, you know, they're thinking, people that are that are very 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 casual in the gaming
Mm.
sense, they automatically think Final Fantasy is like Square Enix. Okay, so
Right.
when you have that perspective of like, oh my god, Square, because automatically they're like, Square Enix is charging me $100 to play a game,
Mm.
because they're not doing their research, like I said, so they automatically think it's Square Enix, right? They don't
Yeah.
know. They don't know that Square Enix sold the rights. So you have that, and then you have Final Fantasy VII not coming out. You know, the big the big pushbacks of Final Fantasy VII remake. And then you have all these other issues. You have all these other issues. You have all these other issues, and it's like, well, I mean, it's because of your bad practices, your bad your bad deals, and it's like you have all these different scuffs in your armor. It's like no reason why you're falling behind on your sales and stuff like that because of that. You haven't,
Hmm.
you know. You
Yeah,
know. So
they're really struggling. You're right. They have a lot on their plate right now. Like you said, the whole Final Fantasy VII thing. How long it took them to do the new Kingdom Hearts.
yeah, that
Uh,
too. That too. And that might make them above breathing water. I don't think it's going to save them. That might make them where they break even. I think.
yeah.
Do you think? I mean, do you really think? I mean, honestly, in your opinion, do you think Kingdom Hearts is gonna honestly? Because there's a lot of people like you that are like, oh, it's too late. I'm not really interested in Kingdom Hearts now.
Well, I know other people that are diehard fans, and people have been even messaging me on Facebook saying, "Hey, I'm super hype about Kingdom Hearts." So I mean, it's gonna make the money, and I think that it's going to put Square Enix in the positive. I mean, I don't think they're currently in the negative right now. In general, they're only in the negative in terms of the mobile gaming scene.
Right.
But as far as like console, they're actually doing okay. But I think that yeah, Kingdom Hearts is going to definitely up their numbers because there is still a big hype behind it. The only thing that people are not going to do is because they have this whole deal where you can get uh,
Laundry.
like basically people are talking about how you can view the game in 4K and all this other stuff and
I don't care.
yeah, and that's kind of what we discussed. I was like, yeah, it's nice, but does anybody really care? And they're like, not really. It's like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're pushing stuff that no one cares about as far as for Kingdom Hearts, because like, I mean, how many people really care about playing Kingdom Hearts in 4K? I mean, you know what I mean? It's not that
Yeah.
big a deal.
Same with VR. I don't care about VR either.
Yeah, that's something that might catch on later, but it's not a big thing now. But I mean, I do believe that Kingdom Hearts will put them up there and get people hype about Square Enix again, and hopefully that'll distract people long enough for the Final Fantasy VII remake to finally come out. Because I'm sure it will come out. It's just a matter of time and figuring out what's going on.
It'll probably come out next gen console. My question is to you: what if Square Enix revokes their contract with this gaming company with the
Oh,
mobile?
with MZ for
Yeah.
well, I mean, there's some legal stuff behind that, and I don't know what their contract is. But they may demand a certain amount
Mhm.
of money to be paid to them, and if not, they may have to take them to court because that game's making tons and tons of money, way more money than Brave Exvius. Like a New Empire, the war game is making a lot more money than Brave Exvius, and Brave Exvius honestly is a better game in my opinion. I do think
Yeah.
a New Empire is a good game in general, despite the other issues it has. But I'd rather play Brave Exvius than a New Empire. 'Cause here's the problem with the New Empire. If I want to be critical about the game itself, not talking about the money, but just talking about the game,
Mhm.
the problem with a New Empire is that it feels like you have to have other people with you to enjoy it because you can attack other guilds, but if you have no one backing you up, then you're just kind of wasting your resources and you get retaliated on hardcore. So you're kind of forced to make sure that there's other people online for you to actually make any moves. So I mean, there's a lot of you know communication that's necessary to actually do anything. And then on top of that, there's a lot of in-game politics. A lot of leaders will be like, "Don't attack this guild, don't
Yeah.
attack that guild."
Mhm.
We have an alliance with them, and then 2 weeks later, oh no, we don't have an alliance with them anymore. Now we have an alliance with this group. Like, there's too much
Right.
politics
And
in
then
the
you gotta
game.
move, and then you gotta move and do this, and
Yeah, and
you
you have
gotta
to
move.
move with
You
cost
gotta,
resources.
yeah, and then you can't move because you don't have a move, and then you have to really spend $100 just to move, or $9.99 to move, and it's like, really, bro? Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of problem. Now with Brave Exvius, you don't have to have people to play with to have fun.
right.
You can have you have your friends list where you can use their characters or whatever if you want to. But the game is mainly a game that you can enjoy by itself and it plays on its own and there's no politics or nothing. You're not dealing with yeah, there's just a lot of stress that comes with the new empire on top of all of its bad money practices. I mean, and I'm not really a politics kind of guy.
Yeah, me
So for
neither.
me to have to play a game and have to deal with that kind of stuff, it really turned me off after a while. I put up with it for a while because I was trying to just enjoy the game. But after a while, I just wasn't having fun. It became more work than fun after a while, and that's why I eventually had to quit.
Yeah, definitely.
But
What?
yeah, you're right. Square Enix needs to pull the plug and be like, "Hey, look, you just need to give us this kind of money and give us our skin back, or shut it down, or something." Because at this point, they're going to be giving Square Enix a bad name.
Right, yeah, and like at the end of the day, like and I feel like that's why they're losing money. Like it's just because of because their name is tarnished. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because right now, to a person that doesn't know the knowledge, and that's why I'm thankful for this podcast, is that we're able to bring knowledge when we can. Um, is that that Square Enix is just money hungry, and then they're not, and then they got all this money per se because people think they have all this money, but yet they can't release Final Fantasy VII. Like people are like really mad about Final Fantasy VII. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
So
oh yeah.
yeah, definitely. So I don't know. Do you have any other more knowledge to bring? Cause if not, I'm pretty good on my end.
Well, there's only one other thing I'm going to bring up, just because I think it's interesting. So first and foremost, shout out to the video game historian for bringing me this knowledge, because
Nice.
he posted a new video recently, and as far as YouTube's concerned, he's like the main guy that I put my notification bell on, mainly because he rarely makes videos, and when he does, it's really good information. Even if it's about a game I don't care about or a system I don't care about, he still makes it interesting because it's just good to know video game history.
And your
But basically,
notification bell actually works? 'Cause mine hardly works.
for him it does. It doesn't work
Okay.
for others, but it works for him. So I'll take that at least. I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Um, but so basically, his topic recently was Spyro's, basically Spyro the Dragon for
Oh,
PlayStation.
the remastered, right? Is it because of the
Well, no, he's
remaster?
not even talking about the remaster. He
Oh.
did bring it up. He brought it up, but he's
Oh.
just talking about the game in general and what it meant and why that game existing for PlayStation was a big deal. And I thought this was cool. And this is kind of what Sony has done to stay in business and be in good competition with Nintendo, which is something that's Sega may have dropped the ball on to some degree. It's debatable, but so the big difference between Nintendo and Sony when they first dropped was that Nintendo was more about the kid-friendly games, whereas Sony was more about the more mature content. Kind
Right.
of like what Sega was doing. Sega was more about the mature stuff, whereas Mario, or I'm sorry, Nintendo called it Mario. Wow, Nintendo was
Wow,
more
rip.
family based or whatever. It's fine, they'll live. But anyway, Sony eventually thought, you know what? We're a company that likes to compete and likes to make money. So this is what we're going to do. We're not just going to be known as Sega, just trying to do like a bunch of mature content. We're
Wait,
actually going to,
wait. I have
huh?
a question though. Would
Yeah.
is Sonic considered mature though?
Um,
Because
it's
that's
debatable.
debatable. Yeah, because I was say that's debatable to say that Sonic didn't or that Sega didn't try because I feel like Sega was more of a Mario. I mean, Sonic was more of a Mario type game than Crash Band. Well,
Well, see, Sonic, you're right. Sonic was, a good game kid wise, but the thing with Sonic is that he was more attitude than
oh
anything.
yeah, that's true. He did
So
have an
you
attitude.
might as well consider it more mature. And the Game of the Story didn't touch on Sega for that. That this is just something I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
elaborating on
yeah,
myself.
yeah,
So don't quote him on that. Because I don't want to give him attention that's not necessary. But basically, but yeah, you're right. As far as Sonic's concerned, I mean that would be their mascot for something somewhat kid friendly, but it's debatable because of the fact that he's kind of like a hedgehog with attitude, kind of a thing.
yeah. He was kind of he could be a
So
jerk sometimes. Just saying.
there you go. And if you ever watched like the animated series too of Sonic, you could kind of understand that as well. But the main reason I'm just bringing this up in general is because what Sony decided to do to combat with Nintendo is they said, you know what, we're gonna also prove that we can do things that are family friendly or kid friendly as well. So they came up with the game Spyro the Dragon. Spyro was, you could almost debate that it was sort of Sonic-ish because, you know, it was kind of one of those games where he was a dragon, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
they made him have lots of, kid-like characteristics that was really fun-loving. And that really put Sony on the map in terms of proving that they can go above and beyond and make something interesting too. That's not just mature content, and people loved it to the point to where they were getting letters from people's grandmas saying that we had to take this game away from our grandson because not because the game was the problem, but we wanted to play it instead. So not only did they get the kids, but they also got the parents and grandparents as well involved, which made so much more money.
Right.
And what was so good about the game, now first and foremost, I never really got into the game myself, so I'm only going from what I've heard from other people and other articles. But what made Spyro so successful is that it was very open world.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It was one
it's
of.
what Crash Bandicoot didn't have. Because
Yeah.
Crash
Mm-hmm.
Bandicoot, you were very limited on where you can move and how and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where in Spyro, it was they wanted to kind of compete with Super Mario 64, but say, hey, we could be open world too and have a lot of fun. And they did a very good job with that.
Um.
So
Um. Crash Bandicoot was more puzzled. Even the boss was kind of puzzled in a sense.
yeah,
I feel like Crash, in my opinion, I feel like Crash Bandicoot was more successful for me as a gamer was when they did the Crash Bandicoot Racing. I enjoyed that
mm,
more because it was like the Super Mario Kart of PlayStation.
right.
But
Mm,
I actually played Spyro the Dragon. Out of the two, I enjoyed Spyro more than Crash Bandicoot.
yeah.
I didn't at that point in time until you brought it up. Um, I never saw I never saw Spyro as one of their mascots, but I didn't think about it until now. Um,
Yeah.
they did have a good run, and it was a good open world kind of game. It was really good.
Mm,
Uh, I would have to agree with you on that. The only thing that I would have to say where I feel like PlayStation has dropped the ball and where I feel like Nintendo has done better is Nintendo has stayed behind one person. Like they've had multiple game friendly IPs, yes, but they have stayed behind Mario. Um, they've put, you know, they put a lot of time and investment in Mario, as rather, um, PlayStation has it. You know, they first went Crash Bandicoot, then they went Spyro, and then they went Ratchet and Clank. And now, from what I'm understanding, Spyro is getting remastered. There's a new version of Spyro coming out. I almost don't want a remastered. I would just almost just want a new Spyro, in general. I don't
mm.
tend to like remastered games. I don't know your thoughts on that. When do you like remastered?
Well, I actually do like remastered games, just because I like remembering why certain games were so good. I mean, why do you think I bought Final Fantasy X like three times
Oh yeah,
now?
that's
You
true.
know what I mean?
That's true.
So I mean, yeah, I'm all about like the remastered stuff. Like I have no problem with that. I kind of also want to go back on what you said too, as far as like Nintendo mainly, pushing a lot on Mario. I halfway disagree only because they also pushed Zelda as well, or Link, the
Oh
Legend
yeah,
of
that's
Zelda.
true. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
But okay,
they
so they
didn't
had
really just hang up on Mario. So yeah,
so they had two main ones that they okay, so they had
that they
two.
push.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Other than that, like if you think about it, there's no two main ones on PlayStation right now. Like, yeah, Crash Bandicoot's made a return, but it's a remaster. Yeah, Spyro's gonna make a return, but it's gonna be a remaster. There
right. They're
hasn't
not making actual new games. I see what you're
right,
saying.
right. Mhm. And
And maybe so they were doing that on purpose. Maybe Sony's trying to make the point to where we don't have to rely on a mascot kind of a thing. Like I think that's kind of maybe where their point of view is.
mhm.
They just want to say, you know what, we're just good at making games in general. We don't necessarily have to rehash our games for them to be good. So I mean, maybe it's just a different statement that Sony's trying to make.
Maybe. I mean, again,
It's debatable.
it's debatable. It really is, but that's really cool though about Spyro though. I may pick it up. I never really got to play it as when as much as I as much as I wanted to, because I
Mm,
was so young at that time when Spyro was out. I think I was like still in single digits when Spyro came out. So I didn't get to
mm.
play it. I didn't own it. I was always borrowing it from somebody. But I remember the first time I played it, I actually played it on a demo disc from PlayStation
Ah,
Underground.
PlayStation Underground.
Yep. That was my first introduction
Oh,
to Spyro, and I was like, "What is this?" At first, and then the same way as I learned about the what was it, that rapping game where
Parappa the Rapper.
yeah, Parappa the Rapper, yeah, which I people love that game. Actually, to be honest, it wasn't my favorite game.
It's kind of one of those like iconic things where it's one of those like socially acceptable games that had like a stand in the gaming community for that moment, I guess.
And now when it made a return, because I think it's on PS4 now too. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, this game!" I'm like, "Yeah, to me it wasn't that great, but
Mm.
people like it. People liked it. No, yeah." But I guess that was another staple of them trying to be family friendly. I guess that's interesting though about Spyro. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
check out some
Like I said,
Spyro.
when I first saw the title of that video, I was like, I'm probably not going to care for it. But I know my homie's good about making videos. That's why I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. And I was like, I'm actually impressed. Okay.
Shout outs to that guy, and shout outs to the people that pay Patreon to help him make them videos possible.
As a matter of fact, and he's the gaming historian. He's actually one of the people that actually always thanks his people on Patreon for helping him with his videos. Now, he didn't make the statement that,
Mhm.
like, if he didn't have Patreon, he wouldn't be able to make videos or whatever. He has never made that statement, but he always advertises his Patreon. So it is something that he uses for sure.
Do you think? Do you think? Like when you say he didn't make that statement, so do you think? Do you think like? Do you not like that statement, or you just think that's a little? Because I mean, in
Well,
reality,
the reason I bring it up
okay.
is because there are other YouTubers who specifically said if it wasn't for Patreon, I wouldn't make videos. He's not one of the ones that makes that statement.
Okay. I
He
see. What
just says thank you to the people who post on his Patreon, whereas other people, like, okay, I'll kind of throw his name out there. There's a guy who's is called Fluffy Talks.
Uh
He's a
huh.
guy that does a lot of things that where it's like you're bad at social media type stuff.
Uh.
He just shows like he kind of exploits people who make weird dumb statements on Facebook or Twitter or Tinder or things like that.
He said
Um,
Tinder. He said Tinder.
yeah, he brings it up.
Oh my
And
Jesus.
he specifically states, if it wasn't for you guys on Patreon, I would not be able to do anything. And some of his stuff is kind of mature. I'm not gonna
Uh.
lie. So it's not one of those things I would recommend the kids to watch. But yeah, I mean, and that's why I was making the comparison. Going back to the other person, a gaming historian, he doesn't make a statement stating that if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't make these videos. But he still does a shout out to those who contribute to his Patreon because he does use
Uh.
it as well, which further just proves Patreon's legitimacy. There are some actual decent people who make decent content who happen to use Patreon as well, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah, no. And but again, you shouldn't let money motivate you to create content in any sense. Money shouldn't motivate you to stream. Money shouldn't motivate you to make videos. You should do it
Yeah,
because you want to. Because in that sense, if the moment you don't see the money, the moment you're gonna stop and yo, hey, then move out the way, go ahead and stop so I can take the viewers that you don't want because you're not making money. That's why I see it.
yeah,
That's why I see it because I'd rather have viewers sit here and chill and hang out with me than have like money, because at the end of the day the support somebody the somebody's time is more valuable to me than their money. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
definitely. So I think that's it for me. I don't know about you, but I think it's been
Yeah, I'm done now, so we could definitely, cut the show down today.
tonight.
It was definitely some good conversations, though, and
Definitely.
we can go ahead and end it if you're good.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we do want to thank you for listening and watching the OG podcast. Here we bring out just different conversations that we want to talk about in terms of video games and anything else that kind of randomly shoots up in between. we'll be back here next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Central, so still be there. Hopefully, our boy Beazle will be there as well. We look forward to hearing, his input on things as well, and any other random news that he decides to bring. So,
Mm-hmm.
shout outs to Beazle. I hope you're doing okay, my friend. And of course, your boy Handy will be on Able Gamers tomorrow. Be sure to tune in because I'm doing something special. So if you want to know what he's doing, please stay tuned to his channel and then, or his not his channel, but Able Gamers.
Ava
And
Gamers.
Able Gamers for Thursday, and of course we'll be on live on Twitch throughout the rest of the weeks as well. I myself, the original mobile gamer, has now made a few videos on YouTube recently. So go ahead and check those out. I've demoed the new puzzle game, Empires and Puzzles, and I've also made a new Shadowverse video. So be sure to check those out.
Make sure to click
Those
that
are some of
notification bell, guys. Please, for him.
if you wanna have a chance to know that I made a video, because it may or may not work. I cannot guarantee anything with YouTube. But if you potentially want to know when I have a video coming out, yes, please go ahead and hit that notification bell so you're 100% sure that 90% sure that you'll get it. We'll see.
We'll see.
But other than that, you guys keep gaming and enjoy life, and we'll see you next week.
Later, guys.